What? That's it? That was your live stream? Hey guys, just checking in. Let's have a beer together. No one cares. We all are sitting here waiting for you to exercise the calls. Isn't that why you're here? Aren't you the savior of retail? Keith, right? The guy that found this amazing high short interest play back in 2020 and started loading, causing retail buying to trap shorts. That's the narrative, right? Because you're the paid actor. That's the narrative you operate under, but that's factually not what's going on here. And everyone's starting to catch on and know that that's not what's going on here, because all price action is algorithmically repeating on every Mag 7 stock, on every meme stock. They all have their own repeating sequence. And all of news is pre-planned to meet that sequence. I just went over all this in my previous video. It's below. Make sure you watch it. But we're going to go over what just happened in the last basically 24 hours and last couple weeks, because I warned you guys multiple times, that this thing was going to blip, make a run, right? Which it did. And then begin to distribute. I've told you guys that GameStop is in its accumulation phase E at this point on its super macro. Okay. I told you guys that AMC is in distribution phase E, meaning it still has not bottomed and found its all-time super macro bottom, which I believe is at $1.90 roughly. Could go down to $1.30. However, this whole roaring kitty thing, it needs to be addressed, because too many people are on Twitter without a shred of a doubt seeing what's in front of their face, because this guy has such a large position and all the things that he had to go through in 2020, 2021, that you are all convinced that he is this organic piece of the puzzle and he's just some lucky guy that found a great stock and a great play that turned into the greatest short squeeze in history. But it was never retail buying that sent that squeeze up. It was always institutional buying. You're constantly lied to by mainstream media that they tell you that retail moves markets when it factually does not move markets. I just told you on the last AMC squeeze, something like 2.1, 2.3 billion notional USD came in. You would have to have every single one of the 4 million plus AMC shareholders to coordinate all buying $500 at a time to get that much volume in. That's not how it works. It's all institutionally coordinated. So let's go over this really quickly. Okay, we're going to review these series of events. Because so far I'm right about everything. And I'm going to keep it humble. But if we bottom and AMC makes a new bottom, I'm not going to be humble in that moment. Because I'm the only one on Twitter going against the grain. Everyone else is just, oh my God, roaring kitty. He is the savior of everything. He gets on a live stream after 3 years of zero communication while you are making a 93% drop in the stock. Zero communication. Doesn't say a fucking word to you. And he's your savior? His last tweet was something, I think it was 2021. I just looked it up. June 18th, 2021. Okay. Here's June 18th, 2021. %8 drop since then. Not one tweet. 88%. Not one memo of confidence, not one tweet, not one live stream, not one video. We're all to accept that, oh, he just went on and he wanted to live his life a little bit. If he is your guy, fighting for you in the trenches like I've been for the last 2 years, teaching you how the repeating fractals work, teaching you how the repeating algorithmic sequences work. If he is your guy, he would have been here during the hardest time in the stocks movement. He didn't do anything for you while you were all suffering, right? Complaining, bitching that, oh, the market's rigged, yada, yada. He didn't say a word. Why? Why didn't he say a word, guys? Because he's not on your fucking side. And he never was. Keith Gill is a plant. He's been a plant from the beginning of this entire movement. In order to create a narrative, okay, that justifies a narrative within, you have to create a good guy and a bad guy. Keith Gill in retail, short hedge funds and Wall Street, okay? It's that simple. The same exact thing happened in 2008, okay, with Bernie Madoff as your bad guy. This is how things work. If they want to implement a central bank digital currency, they first have to blow up the current financial system. And when they do blow up the current financial system, they need an exit liquidity vehicle of hundreds of billions of dollars. Where do you think they're getting that money from? You. And every single one of Keith Gill's tweets since he's been back that has justified a pump and dump, which there's now been 2 of, have been placed on 1-minute bars, candles on the within the repeating sequence. It is not possible to know exactly when to drop news to a 1-minute candle unless you're being told, okay? Because while we can sit here and generally look at it, I can give you a window, a 2-day window, maybe a 1-week window of when the POIs are actually going to hit. It is not possible for me to tell you on a minute-to-minute basis. I don't know that kind of timing. You would have to know the mathematical algorithm to the exact precision to know when to tweet. And he knows. So he has to be being told. And I'm going to show you right now how he's timing his tweets based off the repeating sequences. Really quick. Okay? It is not possible to know. It is not possible to know that if you tweet here, this price action will follow afterwards. It's not possible because every single POI can play to the inverse. It can play downward. So if you're bobbling here, up, down, up, down, up, down, you get to this POI, it can go and then get completely killed. The only way he knows to tweet there to justify that POI is if he knows that price action is coming to the upside. And they cover up that price action movement with his tweet on mainstream media. That is how it works. His first tweet was on the launch pad at this literal bar. His second tweet with the reverse Uno card was at this literal bar. Okay? This is the daily bar chart. He is doing it to the 1-minute bar chart. It's not possible. Okay? And what just happened? We made our run right after, right? Pump and dump. We made our pump and dump run. Look, right here. Pump and dump. He led you right into that. Okay? If you made calls on it, great. But a lot of people don't understand how to trade options. So they didn't make a lot of money on this, okay? And they're maybe holding because they think it's going up because he showed that he has a $180 million outstanding position. And what's the second tweet? Right here on this bar, right? And what happened? Pump and dump. That's 2 pump and dumps he has led you right into the lion's den with a piece of raw meat like this strapped to your back. And you think he's on your team? Need I remind you that the pump and dump that Keith just led you into was Ryan Cohen offering up to 75 million shares of Class A common stock. Okay? Like literally blowing your back out. Keith pumps it, Ryan dilutes and dumps it. Are you really sitting here pretending like this isn't coordinated? One more time. Tweet it here. Pump, dump, pump, dump. Now, this is the remainder of your repeating fractal, right? So you guys that don't understand it might be sitting here thinking that the price action is just going to follow like this. And that's not how it works because every single POI, like I just told you, can play inverse. It can play inverse, all right? We are coming up to your March fractal POI. Okay? Jan, March, June, Jan, March, June, Jan, March, June, Jan, March, June. Over, 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 and over. 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, daily, weekly, monthly. Jan, March, June, Jan, March, June. Okay? You guys get it. Now, March is in your next window of weakness. I'm telling you right now, with the S&P at all-time highs, March is going to play inverse. You are going to get GameStop to retrace into that something like 15 level. I mean, look at the bar because of the dilution and the retracement that we just had. What was that? 45%? 40. Oh my God. Do you know how much money was lost on options this week because of Ryan Cohen's timed dilution? Let's look. All right, I'm going to go down the chain quick, and I'm just going to start shooting out numbers at you. And these are in the thousands. So you guys have to remember, it's your open interest times 100 times whatever the ask price is at that moment in time. So trust me, this will be in the tens or if not more, hundreds of millions. Ready? Let's go. June 7th, 2,000, 1,000, 2,000, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 6,000, 2,000, 13,000, 2, 3, 2, 12, 2, 3, 3, 24, 5, 10, 5, 17, 3, oh my God, 11,000, 2,000, 7,000, 2, 6, 28. This is fucking ridiculous. This is way more than I thought. Oh my God, 57,000 on what strike was that? The 128 strike. What? Who's buying these fucking options? Dude, you're talking over 250,000 OI. Do you know how much money that is? That was lost? Good job, Ryan. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. Roaring Kitty, yo, appreciate you exercising those calls on the live stream. And by the way, pumping right into Cohen's dilution. Fucking joke. All while following this repeating sequence. So they're both in on it. They're both in on it, right? They're working together with BlackRock to make sure this repeating sequence happens. Why? Because this isn't about a fucking GameStop narrative. This is about an exit liquidity vehicle for the biggest dump in human history. And it's coming to a theater near you. So, Jesus, man. What else do I want to talk about? Let's talk about the stream really quick. Let's talk about the stream. So he gets on, right? Completely unprofessional. He's got how many viewers? How many hundreds of thousands of people watch Keith Gill's live stream? I think it was like 100K, something like that. How many millions of people bought GME calls this week? How many millions of people bought June 21st GME calls? You guys watching the options tape like we are, right? Every single day you're watching the flow. He gets on his stream. And he says absolutely nothing. He says nothing. He sits there and pretend like he just either smoked a fat joint or had too many beers. Says, hello, guys. How are you? I miss you. And that's all I really came to do is check in. He doesn't say anything about exercising his 120K in calls, right? What's the problem? Keith, stock's $27, even though it's down 40% today. Why aren't you exercising your calls? That would push the market up, right? It would force dealers to buy shares, pushing the market up, right? Why aren't you exercising them? If you're the savior and you're here to help all of us, how come you're not pushing the stock up against shorts? Why do you want it to bobble in this range to match the exact repeating fractal bobbling in this range? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Because if he wanted to exercise even a portion of those calls, I know he only has 30 million in cash, right? So he probably can't exercise them all, but he can exercise a lot of them. He would have sent this fucking thing to $100. Why didn't he? Because the fractal says he can't. And that's how you know he's a plant. He's under control by whoever created this repeating fractal, which is whoever controls BlackRock. You just expect more from him. Like, he's this terrible paid actor. He's not showing us enough, right? He gets on this live stream, which is anticipated like 3 years in the making. No one's heard from you, dude. We want to hear some shit. Talk about exercising your options. Like, you get on there, you say Ryan Cohen's a great guy. The company's doing good. They're going to do things in the future. Ryan has all this new cash on hand because he's diluted and just fucked everybody, in the last 24 hours. Maybe he's going to buy some Bitcoin with that and all these different things, yada, yada. Like, dude, now's your time to strike. Like, if you're here for us, you're the savior. Exercise your calls. Force dealers to buy those shares. Like, wasn't that the point of you even taking out that position in the first place? Because there was a ton of open interest and you doubled down on it to draw that line in the sand? Like, why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you doing that? Why didn't you do it when the stock was 48 yesterday? Now it's 27. What are you going to do? Wait till it's fucking 19 and then say, oh, shit, sorry. If he does not exercise those shares, this fucking guy's reputation goes down the goddamn drain. It goes down the drain, all right? Because we're a lot smarter now. We understand how the game works now. We understand that there's a repeating sequence. So if you're just waiting for these POIs to do this, it's going to expose your entire motive as faulty and fraudulent. And we see it. I'm telling you guys wholeheartedly, because I love you dearly, this shit's not adding up. It's not adding up. No word from this guy for 3 years, comes back, all of a sudden starts tweeting, what was it, every 15 minutes to the dot, to the minute, every 30 minutes to the minute, and you got you fucking assholes on Twitter trying to decode it like it's some ancient hieroglyphics? Come on, man. To me, it cannot be any more obvious that this guy is a paid actor, a plant, put in from stage one to get as much retail buying, money, and liquidity into the system as humanly possible, because you guys are all convinced without a shred of a doubt that this thing's going to $100,000 price target. You will be brought right into the greatest exit liquidity vehicle in stock market history. And this guy, who you think is the good guy, is leading you right into there with a fucking blindfold over your face. You want to give us a vote of confidence, Keith? Exercise your options. Exercise your options. Oh, and while you're doing that, why don't you show us on E-Trade, right? Who's also fucking in on it. Why don't you show us your trading history and how you took 50 million to 180 million? Show us that. Show us what you were doing for the last 2.5 years, because I would love to see the track record of how you fucking 3x'd your entire portfolio. I would beg to see that type of fucking data. Listen, guys, this is a lot of data to put together, okay? And a lot of different theses going around, and everyone is starting arguments and shit like that. I'm not here for that. I'm telling you how it is. I'm telling you the facts of the situation. I'm telling you where the repeating sequence is going, because we have figured it out in the Yield Boss team. I want you guys to understand that it's not looking good for the next couple weeks, okay? I will update you as we go, but you understand my thesis is that the next March fractal is going to play out inverse on that POI to the downside. I will update you if anything changes. If you have any questions for me, fucking hit me in the chat. I love you. Have a great weekend, and stay safe.